Hey Alpha fam, welcome back to another episode of Alpha Commission. Today on Alpha Commission, of course, we're going to go over that pump on the Bitcoin chart. If we do just head straight over to the chart, you can see that we did get this nice kind of mean reversion off of that drop. We could also consider it a higher low here, but we don't have a higher high. So we do have to see whether or not we just have a series of lower highs, aka a downtrend, or if this is a budding uptrend where we might have a series of higher lows. Guys, if we do jump over to the previous day chart, we can see that this is the last chart that I gave you on the videos, and you can see that we did we're just holding on the bottom of that hold momentum a little bit under it, giving us a slight bearish bias, but we did pop up into this alpha momentum pool, and that did allow us to trade it to the other side where we did tag that big alpha energy. We actually pushed all the way back down to the bottom of the pool, but we never broke below it again. And so we did end up just being supported there, reacquired the Bollinger Band's midline above the neutral point of control. And having had a flavor of that big alpha energy, we did just push up to the volatility pivot. So overall, if you did play this pool to the upside, congratulations. You guys are just absolutely killing it. And if we do take a look at the 2-week pool that we also showed during that same episode, I believe we can see that we did just make a smooth, just a graceful transition all the way to the other side of that 2-week pool. And normally that is a longer process, but because this 2-week pool was quite shallow, we did seem to just fill it within one move. And the question is, do we bring this chart back down over the next couple days as this month and a week end up winding down? Maybe perhaps a fake out move to the downside before popping back up, or do we just push up and maybe that's the fake out move before the real push to the downside? We're not 100% sure yet, and there's still a lot of uncertainty going on in Congress regarding the U.S. budget deal. Now that can shake up markets, understandably, but it just is one of those factors that we just have to wait and see. Now, if we do want to consider the potential for a move to the upside, we do have that inverted head and shoulders that I have been pointing out for several weeks. And of course, this would give us some type of measured move approximately to that $29,000 area, should we be able to flip this neckline up here where we did experience pretty heavy resistance over here and then again over here on Wednesday. And of course, we just experienced this again, a push down on Thursday. So do we break out of this inverted head and shoulders formation and just bust down and retest our lows before firing back up, basically liquidating anyone who was long? Or is this move just going to play out and we should be looking at 29,000 right now? Well, we can go ahead and just put some key levels to that so that we're not just flying blind. And of course, that's going to mean another daily pool. Guys, you can see that we are just dipping our toe back into the momentum pool, which does suggest that if we get embedded there by the end of the day in 18 hours, that we could have the potential to either tag back down to the volatility pivot or perhaps the neutral point of control somewhere around 26,700 to 26,500, and perhaps even break out of the pool just to kind of fake people out. Now, if we do get embedded on the bottom of this pool, we will start to lose momentum to the downside underneath 26,473. And then the normal target when we're targeting our next move for a trade, after breaking down from there, we would be looking towards 25,755 as that big alpha energy level tends to be something that we tag. And this would be producing a little bit of a downtrend right here. Now, do we also get a wick to the bearish control zone, 25,324, basically taking out that liquidity that we've been hunting right down here, somewhere in that 25.5 region? Well, I would hope so, because that would give us a pretty interesting entry if we do just get a wick just flash wick down there. However, this chart has been pretty robust and pretty strong. So, we can't really just count on this move happening. And as you can see, we are above the volatility pivot and we are above the neutral point of control on the daily. And that does suggest that there is strength in this chart. We are above that Bollinger Band's midline. So there is strength in this chart. And we don't necessarily want to be trading against that strength. So guys, these are your key levels to watch. If we do flip that bullish control zone at 27,284 and then get a couple 4-hour candles up there, you can see that that will essentially flip those wicks that have been basically pushing us down into a bullish orientation. And then I would be looking towards, 28,000, 29,000. Now, if we do just throw on some EMAs, you can see that we do have some heavy resistance in 27,700, 28,000. So again, that's going to be our first point of, resistance to see, do we actually break through that? You can see we got rejected off of it before. There's that same EMA coming across here. And if you do want to take a look at my EMAs and my moving averages here, you can see them. You can see the red 8 EMA over here is actually the 800 that I'm looking at. And so that's a pretty strong granddaddy EMA. And then we have the 200 simple moving average right above it. So again, a lot of resistance overhead to try to push through there. We could just take out the liquidity above this high and then flash down. There is some room for us to push up. Again, we pushed up above in this kind of area into that 800 EMA before. We could do it again, basically just taking out some of these stops over here before making our trip to the downside, and then maybe trying again to the upside. I'm not a fortune teller. Nobody can tell you which direction the market is going to go. The only thing that we can do is control our behavior at these key price levels, and so you guys understand where it looks good to short and where it looks good to long. And if you have any confusion about the system, of course, there's the link to the group discussion in the description of this video below. If we do just turn on a couple extra EMAs here, you can see, yeah, we do have a lot of heavy resistance in that 28K area, but we've also got a lot of support under us. Now, the interesting thing is we do have this, EMA down here, which again is going to be that 300 simple moving average. And so that one is very supportive. So if we do flash down here, I would be expecting to get some type of a bounce, just like we got this bounce off of that simple moving average over here around 25,000. I would be expecting some type of a bounce in that $25,500 area, which is confluent with that big alpha energy line and that bearish control zone. So a retest of that and then go, that would be kind of a diagonal double bottom. But again, we do have this bullish formation. So we're just going to have to play it by ear, and the market's going to do what it's going to do. But that's your alpha for the day. Stay safe and happy trading.